I was sweating when we were recording.
That's why
I was like stuck to the chair.
Yeah, yeah. I remember you saying that. That's why I decided to leave one of the windows open.
Yep.
like I can get used to the heat, but that's why I've got all the wind and the fan focused on
Donald Kaczynski,
on you.
He can take the heat.
I've done conventions outside in 100-degree weather.
Oh wow.
I've been through the ringers
with like your steampunk coat and everything.
Oh no, not that. Absolutely
okay.
Not yet. I'm not
amateur.
I'm not that. I'm not that much of a maniac.
Yeah.
I've been inside conventions with that on, and that can reach up to that. But that's a different story.
I have yet to go to any conventions of any kind. I'm looking forward to, at some point, going to one when the world opens.
Indeed. I know a couple of friends of mine. They usually go to. They live on both the East Coast and West Coast, respectively, and they have their own conventions that are huge out there. And I've always wanted to go visit them.
That's amazing. We should network. Try and do a live episode somewhere.
Somewhere out there,
beneath the pale moonlight.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a perfect way to start that out. What's going on, everybody? This is the General Geekery Podcast. Yes! The podcast where we geek out about all that we love to geek out about, with no remorse, no regrets, and with all the enthusiasm in the world.
Indeed.
As always, this is Donald Kaczynski, your coffee ninja by day, actor, gamer, streamer by night. And, with me, as always, Hannah Kubiak, the Undertaker by day, dice slinger, artist, theater professional by night.
Thank you. You always introduce me so much better than I would introduce myself. Just be like, hello, I am a human being, possibly.
Hire me as a hype man. I will literally give you so much hype, no matter what.
Awesome. I will do that.
So I got a fun little topic to overview today. So before I reveal it is, Hannah, question.
Yeah.
So.
Hit me.
Okay. So I have to ask, what is the first thing you think of when you think of a company that's focused on entertainment? What is the one name that pops into your mind more often than anything?
Entertainment?
Yeah.
A couple do. Wizards of the Coast, Pixar, PlayStation.
But
the Coliseum.
Okay, so
are you not entertained?
You said one of the things. Try to narrow it down. What does Pixar usually associated with?
Mike Wazowski. Animation.
Okay, and we're getting warmer. And what is easily one of the most recognizable animation companies in the world?
Disney.
Mm-hmm.
That took me way too long.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I was trying to think of something really obscure because I thought maybe that was what you were going for.
No. Today is a Disney-related topic, so I mean,
all right.
Obviously, we really don't even need to introduce what Disney is. I mean, it's pretty much ingrained into every single mind living today that Disney's pretty much like one of the biggest entertainment companies in the world.
Yeah. But if you looked up Disney in the dictionary, what would it say, do you think?
Mickey Mouse.
That's it?
It's just like, go see Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse, go see Disney. Disney, go see Mickey Mouse.
Disney, have a Mickey Mouse waffle iron.
But yeah, so Disney obviously like one of the biggest entertainment companies in the world. Like, they've got theme parks all around the world. They've created some of the most timeless characters in animation, and owns like a good majority of the entertainment industry because now they own the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They own the rights to Star Wars. They just picked up like a vast majority of 20th Century Fox and all that stuff.
It's an empire.
It has become an empire. But if we take a look back to the 80s, they almost went under.
Ooh, I did not know that.
So, and they almost went under, and if it wasn't for a little decade period called the Disney Renaissance, they probably would not be the powerhouse that they are today.
Ah,
So,
Renaissance.
so for those not familiar of what has been dubbed the Disney Renaissance, specifically it refers to a series, like a 10-year stretch of series of films starting in 1989 to 1999. Like, during this period of time, Disney just kept hitting hit after hit after hit, and really exploded. Like, not just its own stuff, but also emphasized the importance of, like, leaps in animation and everything. So, and it also brought in new technologies, new properties. Like, Disney really solidified it as, like, the powerhouse that it's known more today. More so in this period than anything previously.
Yeah. What would you say, what's the first movie of the Disney Renaissance? Like, what started this?
So, the first film that started it off, like, started off the period, is The Little Mermaid.
Oh.
And it released in 1989, and it ends with Tarzan in 1999.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Phil Collins.
oh yeah, absolutely.
One of my favorite.
To the sky.
Like, okay, Phil Collins, No Jacket Required. It was like one of the CDs that, this is going to sound really old school, but my family and I, like my mom, my sister, my brother, and I, every time we went on a road trip, and even just for no reason, we would get that album, No Jacket Required, out of the library probably once a month.
That
We were like, I don't know why we didn't end up just buying the CD, but for some reason we would just get it at the library all the time. And, you know, not even American Psycho could ruin Susudio for me. Like, that's how much I love it. Yeah.
that's still pretty great.
Yeah.
So so that's the period that it happened. But to go into like why this Renaissance period happened, I gotta explain a couple of things that happened previously in the late '70s and early '80s.
Okay.
Where Disney films started taking a turn. And it kind of started with the results of what happened with the film Fox and the Hound. Because one of the major animators that worked on that project eventually left Disney in order to head his own animation studio, taking a good majority of the animation staff with him.
Wow, okay.
The animator in question is the legendary animation god, Don Bluth.
Don Bluth.
For those not familiar with who Don Bluth is, he is an animation god that I hold up to the highest of standards right alongside Hayao Miyazaki.
Whoa.
And for those that have listened to our Miyazaki episode, you guys know how much I love Miyazaki films.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. They are masterpieces.
I'll give you an example on a couple of films that Don Bluth has lent his hand in creating. Anastasia, The Secret of Nim, American Tail, the original Land Before Time.
Oh my gosh.
He is animation legend. Like, and he also animated for a video game called Dragon's Tail.
Oh. Did he have any sort of like signature animation things that you could look at it and be like, oh, that's a Don Bluth animation?
Difficult to say off the top of my head, but he has a very unique style of making things look cheery and then turning it on its head to create some very dark imagery. I think probably one of the best examples is Littlefoot Mother's death in The Land Before Time.
Oh boy!
Which, if you guys haven't seen that film, definitely go check it out. I probably think that's one of the best animated films of the '80s.
Oh man!
But when he left in order to fund that, there was a big blow to Disney because a lot of projects that happened afterwards were not really doing as well, and they really hit a lull. Like, I'm trying to remember, Fox and the Hound really didn't perform that well. And the one that nearly broke the camel's back was The Black Cauldron.
Huh. Okay.
That film almost single-handedly bankrupted Disney.
Really? You know, I remember watching that when I was a kid, and I actually don't remember it being too bad, but...
It's gotten better with time.
Right.
But at the time, it was like one of the it was the darkest Disney film that had ever been released. Mm-hmm. Sponsors were backing out, and Disney was really, really in some dark times. Mm-hmm. So, and it didn't really help that Don Bluth was bringing out these hits, such as The Secret of Nim and all that.
Oh, man, yeah. The Secret of Nim, definitely... that movie scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. Like, yeah, just like the creepy rats and the creepy, like, owl or whatever that was.
Oh, yeah.
With its warty claws.
Yes.
Yeah, oh, nasty. But, yeah, The Black Cauldron. I've only seen that movie once when I was really, really, really young. And I'm more familiar with the book it's based off of, which is book 2 in the Chronicles of Prydain.
Right.
Which is very good. Give it a read. But yeah, I don't remember very much about it at all.
That's perfectly okay. I didn't remember much about it until I rewatched it a year ago. Mm-hmm. And as I'm rewatching it, the only thing that stuck in my mind is, oh my god, John Hurt is the main villain. So much yes.
John Hurt.
Sorry.
What a legend.
May he rest in peace. Love you, John.
Wait, John Hurt is dead?
Mm-hmm.
What? When? When did this happen?
Like two years ago, I want to say. Maybe,
okay.
Maybe 3, but...
Oh, man. I get so confused because, like, I legitimately sometimes forget that Harrison Ford is still alive. Because it was just so real to me. And you all know what I'm talking about. But
oh, yeah.
It was just so real to me. Like, I expect myself to go and, like, look on IMDb and be like, yes, he passed away, and he was stabbed and fell off a bridge. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, he's still alive? He's making Call of the Wild? What? It's amazing. And oh man, those Star Wars people, they're still out there doing stuff. I love it.
Yeah.
Like, if you have not seen Mark Hamill's Instagram, it is hilarious.
Oh, Mark Hamill, you are a god.
It's hilarious. He's a funny man. I think today there was a post. It was like a miniature of Mark Hamill with a miniature of, like, a mini miniature of Luke Skywalker in his pocket, and a little miniature of the Joker in his hand. That is like, so much brilliant. And he was looking at it, and his comment was like, I don't think that merchandise can get any more meta than this. Yep.
That's true.
A mini of you holding minis of you as other characters.
That's beautiful. God, Mark Hamill, I love you.
Oh, man. He's hilarious.
So, yeah, funny thing, like, the crazy thing is, like, this nearly bankrupted Disney, so much so that, I think it was Michael Eisner, who recently became, like, head of Disney at that point, actually reached out to produce Disney television programming for television studios, which I didn't even realize this until I was researching this topic, that Disney did not want to do any television programming, like Walt specifically. Mm-hmm. But this was also a little more than a decade, I want to say, after Walt passed.
Wait, Walt Disney is dead?
Hannah.
I knew that one.
Oh my god.
I'm just...
I know, but oh my god, I was not expecting to hear that today. So yeah, they had a strike. So they decided to do some television animation. So like the animation department almost kind of split up into like the film animation and TV animation. Mm-hmm. They actually, I think at one point they lost their animation studio where they used to be, and they were working like different kinds of like trailers or like construction sites in order to do the animation for stuff.
Sweet.
Which I'm like,
that's sketchy as hell.
Yeah,
I love it.
So yeah, like the next couple of years after that, like they had to like justify like the existence of it, because this was also reaching a time where people were not really buying into like animated movies as much anymore. Like, even though it was like a big thing when Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was released in like 1938, because nobody saw a full-length animated feature before Snow White.
Yeah.
That was the first one, so obviously it's like, oh my god, this is amazing, let's go see it.
Yeah, let's do more of them, yeah.
And that's how Disney started becoming the animation powerhouse, but it started losing it in the 80s, and then with Don Bluth coming in for competition, and it's like, oh man. So that goes to 1986 with the release of, well, it was a Disney movie against a Don Bluth movie. 1986 is when American Tail was released, going against Disney Animated Studios' The Great Mouse Detective.
Oh my gosh, mice abound.
And both films did really well, especially Great Mouse Detective. It was...
I remember that.
Yeah, it was like a real comeback for... it was viewed as a real comeback for Disney. And then the next animated features that went head-to-head with each other was Disney's Oliver and Company. And Don Bluth animated Land Before Time. Land Before Time ultimately won that race, but still.
Yeah.
But I think the big film that really like kick-started like the entire reintroduction craze back into animation was this is gonna sound really weird. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
What?
Yes.
I mean, it's animated, kind of.
So here's the thing. Disney Studios worked with Steven Spielberg in order to create this. So for those not familiar with Who Framed Roger Rabbit, it is a film based on a book of a similar name, Who Murdered Roger Rabbit, but that's about comic characters, I believe.
That's the dark sequel.
Yeah, kind of. But Who Framed Roger Rabbit? It's most of it is with live action actors and also animated characters from both Disney and Warner Brothers. This is one of the only times in history you will ever see Donald Duck and Daffy Duck share the same screen, as well as Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny sharing the same screen. Probably one of the only times you'll ever see it in history.
Oh, okay. Got it. It took me a second there to remember that Donald Duck and Daffy Duck are not related.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. It's okay. But the film turned out to be a real big hit. And it got people like more back into like expecting animated classics and everything like that. Which leads into the start in 1989 with The Little Mermaid.
I'm going to tell you a secret right now.
Go right ahead.
I have never seen The Little Mermaid.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not sure why. Maybe I have seen it when I was really, really, really small, because I remember the last shot of the movie being like this ship sailing away and all of the mer people poking their heads out of the water and waving. But I don't remember anything else from the movie at all. So I'm thinking that I was way too young to remember it. It was just like,
possibly.
I don't know, but I don't know. I know the story of the movie, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
Definitely worth the watch.
Yeah, I know it is. It's just one of those things I've neglected for 27 years.
It is all right.
27.
It is all right.
I'm 27. I'm not old.
No, I feel older, and yet I'm a year younger than you. I just turned 26, so.
Yep.
And I'm an uncle now. Oh God.
Aww.
I feel older.
Aww.
But
What up, Wade?
Yay! Yep, my nephew's name is Wade, and he is named after Deadpool.
That's awesome.
My brother's weird like that. Love you, Ryan.
Nerd.
But okay, so yeah, Little Mermaid was a real big hit. It became at the time the highest grossing 2D animated film of all time.
Wow.
So, and it kick-started this renaissance period for Disney.
You know why that is? Because little girls and little boys love seashell bikinis.
Also, like,
Your stunned silence is very reassuring.
I don't know how to respond to that because I never viewed the movie in that light. But okay.
No.
But then again, it's just like best way I can describe it is like Disney is modern day fairy tale storytelling. Yeah. Like they're just masters of it. They take the fairy tales that already exist and twists it into like the more modern setting that like we inhabit during the times.
Yep. And
most of them are timeless.
Yeah. Strangely enough, they're not as dark as the original like Grimm fairy tales or Andersen's.
Oh yeah, especially Little Mermaid. Oh my god.
Yep.
If you watch that film after reading the original novel by Hans Christian Andersen, you'll just be like,
didn't she just heartbrokenly turn into sea foam or something?
Yeah.
So weird. Hey, complete segue almost. Have you ever seen? It's a series of pictures. I think it's from like BuzzFeed or something.
Okay.
And it's different Disney characters replaced by Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove.
Yes.
And the Little Mermaid one is so disturbing. It's
yes,
just
it is.
Yzma on the rock, like out with her hair flying in the air, and she's just like.
I'm just gonna insert this clip from Kronk from Emperor's New Groove going, oh!
Also, never realized until I was older that in that same scene when he's sleeping, he's literally pitching a tent. This is his little tent. Oh, well done. The stuff you notice when you get older.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh man.
So the next film in this Renaissance period, this is kind of weird, but The Rescuers Down Under, which is a follow-up sequel to the 70s Disney film The Rescuers.
Ah, okay.
Like the first sequel that Disney ever did for one of their animated features. Oh. Take that, Frozen.
Yeah. Someday I'm going to learn what your beef is with Frozen, but it's not today.
Basically, long story short, I don't hate the movie. I don't hate the characters. I don't hate the song. I hate the overhype that surrounds it.
Oh, okay, I see.
That's my only beef. When something grows so big that it's thrown in your face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Sometimes it can be a deterrent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that.
But after Rescuers Down Under, we come to probably a stretch of probably the three most important films for the Disney Renaissance period. First up, Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, man.
I think I've probably gone on record on this podcast saying that, in my opinion, like, Beauty and the Beast is like one of those films that is as close as you're going to get to a perfect movie.
It's pretty fantastic.
Like, it got a standing ovation at the New York Film Festival, like, when it originally premiered. Mm-hmm. It was the first animated film to ever be nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture.
What?
Yeah, the very first one.
That's awesome.
It lost to Silence of the Lambs.
Okay,
which is fair. Which is
that
fair.
I can understand. Is that when they decided to do like make it animated feature and then live action be separate categories, or did that come later?
I don't know if that came later. Or not. I know there were Academy Awards for like animated effects and everything like that, but sorry, I was taking a swig of water. But yeah, it was the only time that back when the Academy Awards only had like 5 different entries for each separate category until they changed that formula like this century.
Yeah.
It was the only time that an animated feature was nominated.
Oh man.
Which was unheard of at the time. But this film like took everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly put it up there as like one of the 5 best Disney animated films of all time.
Oh yeah, it's excellent. And yeah, like to lose Best Picture to Silence of the Lambs, it's comparable to every other movie that was at the Oscars when The Return of the King was in the running. Like, just sort of like, it doesn't even matter.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
Oh man.
And it's like, this is Disney's best film. Nothing's going to be able to top it.
So good.
Next year came Aladdin.
Ah, yeah, okay.
So this one is another really good one for a lot of people. Like this, honestly, like these three films, like this 3-film stretch can be considered like a lot of people's favorite animated films of all time from Disney.
Yeah.
Aladdin, of course, like so many great moments, especially with the late Robin Williams as the genie.
Oh man, so good.
He's probably like one of the best characters in Disney.
Yep.
That's ever been introduced, but that's
so many of his lines were ad-libbed too. I love it.
I think they had to reanimate a lot of that around him.
Yeah, exactly. There's this hilarious, like, for Aladdin, I think this was back when we had VHSs, and if you kept watching the movie after it was done, there would be like a little behind-the-scenes thing. And there was something where, like, the voice actor who did the voice of Aladdin, just basically didn't realize what a big deal it was, kind of. He's like, oh yeah, it'll just be this fun thing I'll do. And he's like, I wish I had realized at the time just how amazing it was to have acted across from Robin Williams and stuff. And there's this hilarious clip of them in the recording studio where the what's the kid's name who did
Aladdin?
Who did Aladdin, yeah.
Scott Weiner.
Scott Weiner. And there's this shot of it's the thing where he's made his second wish. I wish that I was a prince, or was that the first wish?
The first wish was the prince. The second wish was kind of forced upon him when he was drowning.
Oh right. So the first wish that he was a prince, and he's got his like all this stuff. He's like, so how do I look? And then Robin Williams is just like a vampire on a day pass, and then they both just crack up and disappear underneath the microphones, just like cackling.
God, for some reason that reminds me of the damn like ad-lib farting monologue from frickin' Good Will Hunting, where Robin Williams or Matt Damon are just cracking up out of character.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What are some other ones? There's like where he like points an elephant at somebody with his trunk, and he's like, "Don't make me use the other end."
Yep.
And what is it in the Return? No, of the Prince of Thieves. The sequel, The Prince of Thieves.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because Aladdin had two direct-to-video sequels.
Yeah, The Prince of Thieves and The Return of Jafar. Right, and so what was it? Oh, it was at the wedding, and the genie is like, "Oh, it's a Kodak moment. Get that bear out of there." I love it. Oh, it's a Kodak moment.
Robin Williams, we did not deserve you. We didn't.
Rise from the dead.
It's not a pretty sight. I don't like doing it.
It never goes well.
So in between Aladdin and the third film that basically broke everything, Disney started branching out to like other animation departments. Most notably, Tim Burton, which in 1993 gave us The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, right, yeah.
Bless.
Oh my gosh, that was 1993.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my gosh,
I would be remiss not to include that in this period, because even though it's not directly Disney, Disney had a hand in the production of it.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Why is there a school bus driving around?
That is a very good question.
Oh. They just need to drive around to make money. There's no one in them.
Indeed. So, now we get to probably the biggest film that people remember the most from this era, The Lion King. Oh, why'd you stop?
Because I started laughing, and also I didn't want to break the microphone.
You know what?
And I don't...
You know what? Screw it.
One time, during my brief stint as an Uber driver, when I was strapped for cash, I actually drove one of the ensemble members for The Lion King to their Airbnb here in Milwaukee.
That's incredible.
Like driving in, I was like, "So, what you doing here?" And he's like, "Well, you know, I'm here for a couple months because I'm doing The Lion King." I'm like, "Shut up, really?"
That's incredible.
It was great.
That I love when you do when people get moments like that.
Only person of note I ever drove as an Uber driver.
Still a fun memory. But yeah, Lion King. Probably Disney's biggest moneymaker of all time before Frozen came along. Remember how... I know how I said, like, I hated the overhype around Frozen and everything like that. I never understood the overhype around Lion King when I was a kid, because I loved the film.
Yeah.
It's a great film, and in my opinion, probably has one of the best villain songs of all time in Be Prepared.
Yep.
Bless you, Jeremy Irons.
Yep. Oh, Jeremy Irons. Another great one.
Yes, absolutely. But, yeah, it remains to this day the highest grossing traditionally animated film of all time.
Whoa.
I re-looked that up and I found that fact. Keep in mind, folks, traditionally animated, not fully 3D films.
Yep.
That's a different thing. And that actually might change if we adjust everything for inflation, but I don't have the time or the patience or the mathematic or economical history skill in order to determine that. But
yeah,
whichever.
So these three movies actually that you were talking about are the three that have recently been made into quote unquote live action.
And neither of them hold a candle to the originals.
No, yeah, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King. I actually haven't seen any of those remakes.
I'm just gonna say, like, there's at least some good things you can find in Beauty and the Beast, and a few good things to find in Aladdin. Don't see the Lion King.
I've heard that it's just a shot-for-shot recreation of the animation, but it's just a different medium.
Yep.
Ugh.
And it's not even live action. The only live action shot is just a live action shot of Africa shown in the beginning when the sun's rising.
And that's
other than that, the characters and the backgrounds are all computer generated, which honestly looks good.
That is unbelievable.
It is unbelievable, and it does look good, but at the same time, it's just like,
yeah.
Then why would you do this shot for shot?
I don't know. Have you seen some of the animation they did in that series Love, Death, and Robots?
Yes.
They look like actual people, some of them. It's hard to tell. Oh my gosh.
Gotta love it when that happens.
Yeah, kind of disturbing in some ways as well, but yeah.
By the way, folks, we apologize for some of the background noise if it's picking up. We had to leave the window open, otherwise we would have heated up to death in here.
Boiled alive.
So yeah, after those films, like, it was solidified that Disney was back in a big way. In a big way. And alongside the time these series were released, on television, Disney started having more of a presence too, because around 1990, Disney released a programming block called the Disney Afternoon.
Okay.
Which produced probably... And the stuff that came out of Disney Afternoon resulted in probably some of the best cartoon shows that has ever been put to animation in the 1990s.
Right.
Some of you may have heard a couple of them. DuckTales.
Mm-hmm.
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Mm-hmm. Tailspin. Darkwing Duck. And probably one of the best ones out of all of them, Gargoyles.
Oh, okay.
I believe all of them are on Disney Plus. Definitely go check them out. They are some stellar bits of writing and animation for the time that Disney had. And definitely like a lot of like later Disney cartoons, a good majority of them don't hold a candle to like some of these. Especially Gargoyles. Gargoyles is oof.
Is that a series about the gargoyles from Hunchback?
No.
Oh.
That's a different one.
Okay. I didn't really, when I was in this time period, I didn't really watch that much TV, so...
No, it's
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's perfectly okay.
Like, you were like, Disney TV shows, and I'm like, I cannot think of any.
Don't worry. Because normally to the general audience, Disney's more well-known for their films.
Yeah.
Which is understandable. But it was really like in the 90s when they started branching out into like television programming.
Yeah.
Which eventually would branch off into like Disney Channel and everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
But it was really like the late 80s and the 90s that really started that. But back to the film part, and we hit a little bit of a rough bump between 95 and 97 with the next three films. all of them have critically acclaimed in their own rights, but were not as successful as the previous three. Mm-hmm. The first of which being Pocahontas.
Okay. I can see that.
Which is probably my least favorite film of the Disney Renaissance, I'm going to be honest.
Huh.
I was not that big into it. Although I love the music. Like, some of the music in there is just mwah.
Dig and dig and dig-a-dee dig and dig and dig-a-dee. Hey, nanny, hey.
Yep, that was weird. The film following that one, though. Oh boy, we come to probably my little brother's favorite film from the Disney Renaissance, The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh, I saw that recently. That's probably the Disney movie I've seen the most recently.
Oh.
I liked it a lot, although I did not appreciate the message of the ending that if you're not good looking, you're doomed to be a third wheel and be okay with that. I hate it so much.
Okay, that's fair. Like, to be honest, like, they took, like, the book it's based on is way different.
No, I know how that ends also.
But, jeez, like...
Little necrophilia on the side there. Yeah.
Hellfire!
Hellfire!
Okay, I take that back. Hellfire is probably the best Disney villain song.
It's pretty good.
Like, good God. Oh. I get goosebumps every single time that song comes on.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, so good, so good.
But yeah, like, you guys thought that when I said that Black Cauldron was probably one of the darkest Disney films, I don't think it's got anything on Hunchback.
Hunchback is...
Like, the imagery in Hunchback is... Woo! It nearly got a PG rating from all the MPAA or something.
Oh.
Yeah, it nearly got a PG rating instead of a G rating.
Oh, the horror.
Oh, the horror. But, jeez Louise.
Oh, man. Yeah, I want to watch that again.
And then following that one, in 97, Hercules.
You mean Huncules.
I cheers to that one.
You.
Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I love quoting them so much every single time.
Yeah. Oh, that one's pretty good too. I've seen that. And
yeah.
If you are a connoisseur of theater, there's a funny joke in there for you where they like, he and Meg like go on a date or something and they're walking along and he's like, man, the tale of Oedipus, I thought I had problems.
Oh God, I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
So good.
But yeah, like these films really did not reach the critical heights like the previous three, like with Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and Lion King. And people were starting to worry that Disney was on a downward spiral again because people of the general public can be pretty fickle sometimes. Yep. Like, unfortunately so. Yeah. It was also around 1997 when the Disney Afternoon in television closed down. It stopped syndication after a 7-year run. So it looked like things were not really going in the direction for Disney. But, like, creatively, like, Disney was, like, continuing on with a bunch of stuff. And then came 1998, and probably, like, I think this one is probably, like, one of the most quoted films for all of our friends, Hannah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Which one?
Is it The Emperor's New Groove?
That okay.
That's like, I thought that was like 2000s.
Yeah, but... yeah. That one's 2000s. Okay, maybe. Okay, this one may be the second one. Mulan.
Right. Yes. Ha! How could I forget? My favorite Disney movie when I was a kid.
Oh, love it.
Oh man.
Like the style was so was Disney, but it was really unlike anything Disney had done previously. Yeah. And of course, like with the music, the characters, like that one is a real standout one out of the Renaissance, and it did really well for critics and everyone alike. Yeah. So that one was, that was a delicious, scrumptious dumpling.
Yeah. Oh man, I loved it because, as you know, I'm a big fan of like female protagonists who can hold their own and who take matters into their own hands, and I loved it as a kid. Also, when I was about the age that this movie came out, like, I grew up in California, like, the first 9 years of my life.
Okay.
Up in California. Lots of sushi restaurants, like, lots of Eastern culture in general, like Indian, Japanese, Chinese, you know.
Yeah.
I lived in LA for a year when I was, like, 9. We lived really close to Little Tokyo, so just everything Asian just fascinated me. I loved it. Like, this little old Japanese lady taught me how to fold paper cranes and stuff.
Origami.
Oh, yes. Oh, it was wonderful. And I
can never do that.
I loved it so much. And just this movie as well. I love the aesthetic. And
yeah, this one's a big favorite for a lot of people. Like, I know, like, the big three that I mentioned were a lot of fan favorites. Mulan is probably like, well, this one and the next one are probably like two more of them alongside, like,
yeah,
like they're if I had to go by a tier list by, like, how to grade these films, top tier would be Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin. Tier below that would be Little Mermaid, Mulan, and the next film that I'm going to be talking about, with Hunchback closely behind.
Yeah.
And maybe Hercules as well. And then on the bottom you have Pocahontas and Rescuers Down Under. As much as I don't want to knock on those films, but
no pun intended, but Rescuers is Down Under.
Bruh. Let's still.
Bruh.
And then a year later we get to the last film in the Renaissance, and this one holds a very special place in my heart. Yes, I'm making that as a nod to the Phil Collins song, I Don't Care. Tarzan. Like, my God. Honestly, I think some of the most quotable songs come from this movie, mainly because Phil Collins.
Yep.
Like, You'll Be in My Heart, Son of Man, I Want to Know, like, good...
Trashing the Camp.
Trashing the oh my. Okay, here's the question. What's the better one? The one they used for the film, or the recording that he did with NSYNC for it?
Never heard it.
Definitely listen to it when you get a chance, because it's just like, what?
Trashing the Camp with NSYNC. Got it.
Yeah,
I can see that being really awesome.
Zabba-dub, zoobie-doo, zabba-dub, zabba-doo-dum, bee-bop. Zabba-dub, zoobie-doo, zabba-dub, zabba-doo-dum, dee-doo. Zabba-dub, zoobie-doo, zabba-dub, zabba-doo-dum, bee-bop. Wee-bop, wee-doo. Woo!
Well, there we go.
I think I actually got those sounds perfect too, which is scary to me.
Yep.
But good. Yeah, like, that's the impact that these films have had on us. Like, I can't remember any single stretch of time that Disney has had so many influential hits.
Yeah.
Within the span of a decade. Because everything after the Disney Renaissance, like, it was rough going for Disney and films. Like, there were some really cult classic hits like The Emperor's New Groove and Princess and the Frog. And then, of course, like, they would have the resurgence with the 3D animated films like Tangled and Frozen. But I think probably, like, when Disney's backs were, like, against the wall, and is when they churned out some of the best animation they've ever done.
Yeah. That's really inspiring to me as an artist, actually, that, you know, when you're a successful animation company, and then, you know, at a certain point kind of hit a little downtick and have to work from a trailer in a construction site, like, that you can still kind of bounce back from that. Yeah, I guess. And that if you start in a trailer in a construction site, you can still make it up to the top. Like, that just, it's inspiring to me.
Fun.
That from humble beginnings you can still make it.
Yeah, because they originally had, like, an animation studio, like, I think in Glendale, California at the time.
Okay.
But then, like, when that crash happened, they had to move. But then when the Disney headquarters settled in Burbank, like, after the success of, like, I think it was either, like, Aladdin or Lion King success, is when they moved, like, the animation department with the main studio in Burbank.
Yeah.
And, like, that's really like I think that's really the time where Disney started becoming the global powerhouse that it did.
Yeah.
Because it was just a film animation studio like prior to that. Like I can't remember off the top of my head another time where Disney was like that vibrant.
Yeah.
Not dominant or all-knowing in like the public eye, but just putting out such quality content in not just one form of media but two. Because it wasn't just film, but it was also television as well. And not only that, the Disney Renaissance was also the period that gave us Toy Story.
Oh yeah, actually.
I forgot to mention Toy Story when they teamed with Pixar to bring the first fully computer generated film of all time.
Yeah.
And it was a smash hit. Toy Story is pretty much in the same ballpark in terms of like awe-inspiring at the time, like never before seen, kind of like how Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was back in the 1930s.
Yeah.
And they hold up.
Yeah. Oh,
like
sure.
Like maybe not technology wise, but like the characters and like the acting, it's great.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah. So I know you kind of talked about this a little bit, but what personally are like your favorites? Your favorite Disney movies of all time, basically, like your top 3 to 5.
That is difficult. That is very, very difficult. But Beauty and the Beast and Lion King are definitely on there.
Yeah.
Emperor's New Groove, just because.
Yeah.
God Almighty, I can quote that movie all day long.
Oh man, it's great. I've been told, and I agree, that basically, if I live long enough, I'll probably become the spitting image of Yzma. She's like, oh, scary beyond all reason. Like, my family has really good genes, and we all live to be, like, late 90s. So,
gotcha.
like, yeah.
So, who's sitting in my chair? Oh, I know. Yzma's sitting in her chair. Very good, Kronk. Get the snack. Got it.
Oh, gosh.
I got it. I'm okay.
That's on my list of costumes, definitely.
Oh my god, so good. But yeah, those are definitely
right,
like two.
A quick cup of coffee.
Then we'll take him out of town and finish the job. But yeah, those three are among like my top favorites.
Wait, what was the third one?
Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Emperor's New
Right.
Groove.
Okay.
And this is in no particular order, mind you guys. Another one would have to be Fantasia.
Oh, okay.
I really love that film. It's just something about a live orchestra playing while like animation's happening because oh my god, like The Magician's Apprentice and Night on Bald Mountain.
Night on Bald Mountain gave me nightmares as a kid.
Oh, I appreciate it so much more.
Yeah.
It's a film I appreciate so much more as an adult than as a kid.
What about Rhapsody in Blue? Do you remember that one?
Which one was that again?
It was.
I'm trying to remember.
Oh,
that one. That was a good one too.
It was like, I think it was about like a construction worker who wanted to be a musician.
Yeah, that's right.
I loved it.
That was a really good one too.
Yeah. Let me see. Well, Mulan is definitely among my favorites.
Yeah, that one would have to be number 5 for me.
Mulan. Oh gosh. I mean, I remember when I watched Beauty and the Beast last, which was probably about a decade ago. I remember thinking it was amazing. So that one.
It still holds up beautifully.
Emperor's New Groove definitely is my jam. So clink clink for Emperor's New Groove. Yeah.
You know, it's a good thing you're not a big fat guy, or this would be really difficult.
Oh yeah, I say that at work all the time.
I could just imagine you saying that. It's so good.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but you've thrown off the Emperor's groove.
Sorry.
Don't throw off his groove.
You know the guy who sung his theme song at the beginning and at the end?
What's his name? Yeah, no.
That's Tom Jones.
What?
Yeah. crazy thing.
I can see that.
Tom
Oh
Jones
my
was in The
gosh.
Emperor's New Groove in a film I mentioned earlier, Oliver and Company.
Okay.
The only film credit role for Billy Joel.
Billy Joel. Oh, okay. Nice. Did you say Tom Jones before, but Billy Joel?
Yeah, Tom Jones before. Well, yeah,
Oh,
Tom
okay.
Jones was in Emperor's New Groove because he was singing Cusco's theme song at the beginning.
Right, yeah. And then Billy Joel.
And then Billy Joel was in Oliver and Company as the dog version of the Artful Dodger.
Yep. Oh, yeah. And don't you ever besmirch Billy Joel.
Never. Billy Joel's a god.
All right.
Ooh.
Any other facts or things that I should know about the Disney Renaissance?
Elton John did most of the music for Lion King. There, I said it.
Elton John. Nice. Actually.
That's more along the lines of common knowledge, but I'd be remiss without mentioning Elton John, damn it, because Can You Feel the Love... his version of Can You Feel the Love Tonight is one of my favorite songs of all time.
Oh, that's great.
Oh.
I didn't know that either. So I learned so much today that
Yeah.
I didn't know. And I also learned how much of this stuff I have never seen.
Well,
Or haven't seen in over a decade.
Well, it's all... I'm pretty sure all of it's on Disney+, so definitely... It's all definitely worth the watch, because good almighty... And that's just talking in animations, like, because Disney was doing other stuff at the time, because I think they started doing, like, some other live-action stuff, because I think they did a live-action version of 101 Dalmatians around the time with Glenn Close.
Right, yes.
Hugh Laurie was also in that film.
What? Who was he?
He was one of the dog nappers.
What?
Yeah, Hugh Laurie was one of the dog nappers, and the other dog napper was Arthur Weasley from Harry Potter.
Oh my gosh.
I kid you not.
Things that you watch as a kid and you don't really think of who the actors are, and then later you look back and you're like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah,
so many Easter eggs.
And here I thought Glenn Close was the weirdest one in that movie that had the weirdest IMDb, but in comes Hugh Laurie,
Yep. Oh
Dr.
my-
House himself.
Oh my gosh. Hugh Laurie. He is multi-talented, definitely.
Love that man to death.
Oh man. So good.
But
I should show you some of his stuff from A Bit of Fry and Laurie sometime, if you haven't watched any of it.
I remember one of the last things I saw him in that was recent. He did
Catch-22?
No, it wasn't
He
Catch.
was in that.
No, it was just some miniseries, The Night Manager. He did opposite I forget the actor's name who plays Loki in the MCU.
Tom Hiddleston?
Tom Hiddleston. Yeah, he was opposite Tom Hiddleston.
In The Night Manager?
Yes, it's like a 6-part miniseries that's based on a spy book of like the similar name.
Huh, okay, I'll have to look into that.
Really good.
Okay.
Really good. It's a very, very interesting watch.
Nice. Alright.
Darn you, Bus. But yeah, that is the Disney Renaissance. One of the most important time periods of the Disney timeline. Like before Disney started becoming this powerhouse that owned pretty much almost everything in entertainment, where it bought out the MCU, it bought out a good chunk of Fox. It owns so much other content, including like National Geographic and everything like that. Like these animated films, like stuck with a good majority of like our peers.
Yeah. Mickey Mouse for president.
Oh God, no! Oh God, no!
Oh boy! Had to
Well-
declare an executive order.
Mr. Vice President Pluto, execute Order 66. We are some dark people.
Yep. Execute Order 66.
I can just imagine him like that too.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that is the Disney Renaissance. What do you make of it, Hannah?
It's a bigger deal than I thought.
It's when you just look at the films individually, like it doesn't seem like a big deal, but like when you learn the story like behind that, like going into it and see how it came out, Like,
Yeah.
when they were being put under pressure by lacking projects, competition from Don Bluth's animation studios. Actually, it was because of the success of Beauty and the Beast and Lion King in particular that I think caused Don Bluth's animation studios to go defunct.
Wow.
Because the funny thing is, I think the story goes that Don Bluth originally wanted to do an animated version of Beauty and the Beast before word got to him that Disney was doing their own version.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I could be wrong about that, but I remember hearing that somewhere.
Oh, my gosh. Oh.
Yeah, this is what happens when you get Donald talking about animated movies. Just animation in general. I love it.
Yep.
Animation is not for just children. It is for all ages.
It is amazing.
Enjoy it.
Yes. Oh, man.
Because honestly, some things that are made specifically with children in mind are honestly more mature sometimes than stuff made for adults.
Yeah, actually. Sometimes I watch those things and I'm like, man, that was deep.
Yeah, exactly. You go back on that and you learn all these life lessons, and then you find out that when Simba faints after talking to Timon and Pumbaa, you see these flower petals off in the distance spelling out the word sex.
When?
Okay, so
that's an Easter egg.
Okay, so in the original cut of the funny Easter egg, in the original cut of the Lion King, when Simba does like the feigning thing and like those tough furs go to Rafiki and he finds out that Simba's alive before he meets Nala again as an adult.
Oh, right.
When he faints on the when he just goes like the ugh on the cliff.
Yeah.
These like petals go up in the air to write out the letters SFX.
Uh-huh.
But it's for like sound effects, kind of like as like a little Easter egg that they put in there. But some people thought it spelled out the word sex. So that's pretty much become just like a funny little joke.
Okay.
Like
so it's unintentional, but
yeah,
okay.
Animators put some weird Easter eggs in their films.
I mean, you gotta think about stuff before you do it, I feel like.
Apparently there's there's like a one frame shot of a naked woman in the window in The Rescuers.
I can believe that.
And not even that. In Who Framed Roger Rabbit,
Mm-hmm.
I still don't see how this holds water, but apparently there's actually a moment where, for just a brief second, Jessica Rabbit is shown going commando. I'm like, okay, so you draw a cartoon character that's so beautiful, even the animators creating her has to, like, show some fan service or something? What in the hell is wrong with the world? But good God.
Oh my gosh. What a strange world we live in.
Art's weird.
Art is weird.
Art is weird, let me tell you.
Yep. Stranger than life.
But yeah, for those of you interested in the Disney Renaissance, definitely go look into it, because it is an interesting story to look at. I took most of the inspiration from Wikipedia while also researching the other various sources that were available. Mm-hmm. Definitely go check them out, read up on all of them, and if you haven't seen all of the films that we listed through this Renaissance, definitely go check them out. My 3 highest recommendations, if you haven't seen them already: Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Hunchback of Notre Dame, and any of the big 3. But specifically Beauty and the Beast, because good God almighty, that film is great.
Yep. I'll be definitely checking out some of this stuff that I haven't seen yet. So. Or
you have seen or probably forgot and you need to re-experience it. It happens to me all the time.
Yep. This I learn stuff on this podcast every time we record, so.
Yay!
Even when I'm doing my own topic, I learn something new.
And learning is half the battle.
Learning is half the battle.
Wait, that's G.I. Joe. Wait, that's another thing. Getting too far off topic on that. But I think we can...
And that has made all the difference. I took the road less traveled by, and... Okay. As to how many things can we say that aren't exactly connected to what we're talking about?
What else is new?
Yeah, I know.
All right. I think we can
let's leave before we make fools of ourselves.
I mean...
Everyone's gone already, probably.
I mean, I make a fool for myself every day, but you don't see me complaining, but that's fair. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the General Geekery Podcast. We hope you guys had a good time listening about the history of the Disney Renaissance. If you guys like what you listen to, make sure to follow us wherever we are on social media. You can follow us at Gen Geek Podcast on Excuse me. You can follow us at Gen Geek Podcast on Facebook and Twitter, and at General Geekery on Instagram. You can listen to us on Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker Radio, and wherever podcasts can be found. You can also, if you don't have access to any of those streaming services, we are also available on YouTube under my personal YouTube channel at Anime Rev Productions. So definitely go check that out as well. Hannah, where can they find you at?
Well, you can find me rolling dice with my party every Monday at 7:30 Central at twitch.tv/loadeddiceadventures. We are a Twitch affiliate now, so if you have a if you have an Amazon Prime free subscription, which you do every month, you have a free subscription. If you want to support, a lesser known stream that's climbing up the ladder, telling a story every week, go ahead and check us out. Subscribe. All of our money that we make right now, it goes into the giveaways that we do. Typically, every stream we do 1 or 2 giveaways of like dice, minis. I do custom artwork for people sometimes. It's tons of fun. It's we have a blast, and we like to give back to people who bother to check us out as well. So.
I've gotten so much dice from them.
Yep.
I've gotten so much dice.
There's a pile that's coming to you when this quarantine stuff is all over. And you can also check out the other podcast I do, the Splankniks podcast. I do it with my mom. We talk about literature, art, culture, and tabletop gaming, all from the perspective of 2 different generations. And you can also check me out on Instagram at Pythian Legume.
Awesome. And as for me, guys, you guys can check me out on social media, on Twitter and Instagram at RyuzakiMK7, where I talk a lot of games and post a lot of pictures of me making coffee, because, Coffee Ninja. It's what I do. And you guys can also follow me on twitch.tv at RyuzakiMK7. I am also a Twitch affiliate, and I'm very close to 200 followers.
What?
Very close to 200 followers.
That's awesome,
I'm
man.
on that precipice. On that precipice. So yeah, I stream a lot of RPGs and a lot of games. I do a lot of on the spot voice acting, just because I love doing voices. That's what I do. Mm-hmm. So definitely go check that out. And I love hanging out with everybody in the chat room, talking to them, just reacting. We always have a fun time, so go on, check that out. I stream most nights, about 4 or 5 days a week now, usually starting between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. Central. So definitely go check that out on twitch.tv at RyuzakiMK7. So thank you guys once again for listening to this episode of the General Geekery Podcast. This has been episode 41 of the General Geekery Podcast.
It's been almost a year. It feels like it's been a life age of this earth that we've been recording this podcast, but
it feels longer with like the quarantine making everybody a little bit
time stretches into eternity.
If I could save time in a bottle.
It's like the entire world works the night shift and has no idea what day they're in.
Oh God, I've been feeling that lately.
Oh man, last weekend I totally did. I was like signing paperwork and stuff. I was like, what day is it? It's 2 a.m. now, so it's the next day now. Cool. Yeah. It's tomorrow.
Oh my God. All right. We might as well just head off.
Yep.
This has been episode 41.
Let's get out of here.
This has been episode 41 of the General Geekery Podcast. For Hannah Kubiak, I'm Donald Kaczynski. And always remember to keep your geek on.
Always.
Clink, clink.
Clink, clink.
Zab it up, zoom it up, zab it up, zab it doo da dee da ba 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 ba. We bop, we do. Woo! Later, guys.
Bye.